This was my first awakening to understanding how powerful the black man's mind is and how our mind is respected much more than our brawn. I threatened the police chief. I said, if you don't let Jason Camouflage Johnson out of jail, I'm going to every news outlet, and within 2 days, they released Camouflage from jail.
On a murder charge?
Yeah, they released him. You played the phone call. Bruh, it's goosebumps, man, when I talk about it.
What would you say, knowing what you know now, to tell them? Do you think they want us to push that, or do you think they, like, what part do they play?
I'm more stressed now doing Gangsta 2 than I was doing 1, and I'm gonna tell you why, but part 1. Yo, what's up? This Dushawn, producer extraordinaire, professor. Well, what I wanna let you know is you're watching that green room right now.
Let me put y'all up on game. If you were around Savannah in the early 2000s, a little before, then you might know of Pure Pain Records, you might know of Camouflage, you might know of Crime Affiliates, you might know of Uncut Productions. As of lately, you might know of Gangsta 1 and Gangsta 2 on the way. This is episode number 4, and joining us today is a legend, a Savannah, like a well-rounded, humble human being that represents Savannah very well. We got Dushawn in the building. Hey, man, I appreciate you joining us, man, and just letting everybody know, everything that we bring to them today, man. So thank you for joining us.
Appreciate you having me, fam.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so let's get into the first question. Like, what I want to know is, how did you get into music production? What made you, like, start making beats? Because at that time, it wasn't a studio. It wasn't a lot of studios you could walk into and produce. There wasn't a lot of equipment around.
Yeah.
How did you get started, and walk us through that journey?
So, really, it started, I always been into music since a kid. Like, I started my first instrument playing like the trumpet. I was like 9.
Okay, so you always been in instrument.
Always been into music. So that was like my first instrument. I played it for like 2 years. Told my mom I ain't really like it, and I switched to another instrument called a baritone by the time I got to Hubert. And then I got to Savannah High, and I started playing the tuba. But I always was DJing. I started DJing like at the age of 12.
So you were DJing too?
Yeah, that's where it all started. The
okay,
DJing,
so DJing started first. So you learned something every day.
Because in Savannah, like it was only like a few people who could get their hands on drum machines and all that. My parents.
Equipment back then, it wasn't even,
So, but my mama was able to get me some turntables. So that was really where my start was at. And I was like kind of making beats by mixing records.
And you just doing all that in the house?
Doing all that at the crib, you feel me?
Yeah. But was it a lot of people doing that? Was it like a cool thing to do at that time? Or was it just something that you was doing just like a young dude? What motivated you into doing that?
It was my cousin Lil Melvin. He used to rock out with this dude named Keno, God bless his dead, off of over there in the Hazard County area. So, I'm younger than them, so I'm watching them. They mixing and blah, blah, blah. This is Run DMC and all that came out, and they was dope with it. And I didn't know how to do it. And I was like, hey, yo, y'all teach me how to scratch, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, because they had the turntables, I didn't have them yet.
Yeah.
So that's how our community was back then. It wasn't like, if somebody had something, you was younger, they would share it. It wasn't like how I think it is now, everybody just for themselves.
Yeah.
So they taught me how to get on the turntables. Well, I remember when I did my first scratch, blah, blah, blah. I said, man, y'all come listen to this. And then I did my first mix.
Yeah.
It was weak, but it was strong to me.
Yeah.
Because that was getting me started. I started that way, and then there was a lot of dope little local people here. Like one of my favorite DJs is a dude named Lord of Swar. He went to Beach.
Okay.
And I would listen to them because them boys way tougher than me on the turntables. But, I would pattern around them because they were who I could see locally, this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
So that's how it really all got started, me just kind of following other DJs here.
How was that type of network back then? Like, how did y'all network? Because we didn't have a social media or internet or a lot of that stuff. So how was y'all staying in tune with each other? Like, what kind of, was it talent shows or school or what? How y'all stayed?
Talent shows, you call it out. The house party wasn't dangerous back then, you feel me? So it was a little bit safer.
You were DJing house parties? Or
I was doing the house parties too.
House parties went down back then.
Yeah, it was A1 back then, you feel me?
No killing too much.
None of that.
Probably every now and again.
somebody might get shot, but ain't nobody really was getting killed. It was definitely a fight might break out, you know, especially if you doing a house party and there's more Savannah High folk and then beach folk. You know, it'd be that
So that's
stupid
been
bullshit.
going on.
Yeah, that been going on. But it was all love with me and like I say, Lord of Swar, look up to that brother. Another dude who was making the beats, Malik, Espesian. Like these are a lot of brothers who they had equipment before me, but they was all good, and I looked up to them. You know what I'm saying? Kataka, he was dope. Yeah.
The talk out of his village?
Kataka, you know Kataka.
He did music?
Yeah, Kataka was hard on the beats. Kataka, Preston Payne, you know, all them boys was tough, and I just looked up to them boys, and then eventually I was able to get some equipment when you know, I went off to the military, and then when I came back, I started going to Savannah State, and then that's when I just was like, all right, let me go ahead and invest in this because I think I could do it.
So you knew you wanted to go in the direction of that time at production?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I was like, I just had to get my money up because the equipment was way more expensive than it is now. Now it's like you get your laptop, you in the game. Whereas, man, I had to get a drum machine, sampler, keyboard, sound pack, man, everything, man. You bought 5-6 bands in the end before you could really make some music. Yeah.
So fast forward to Pure Pain. How did it go from how you went from that position to the whole Pure Pain situation? Like how did that go? Because that was like one of the only studios that I knew of at the time, like that where people could have just went and made music.
So my family Taz, he like I made my first disc probably like around 97, bro. It was a solo disc because I used to rap too.
Okay.
So, you know, I was rapping and I made the first disc. I was probably I wasn't the first in Savannah. I'm not going to definitely lie about that, but I was one of the first to actually print up a CD. It was actually selling some CD because it was really expensive. And I went ahead and bought a CD burner.
So you made your own music, made your own beats, wrote your own raps, pressed your own. You were working as
I was doing it all. I was my own production company.
Yeah.
And Taz was like, we be on Waters, and Taz might just pop the CD in and make everybody just listen to me. And then him and Zoc, eventually, this was probably like a year after I had did that, because I had re-enlisted in the military too. So I was gone a little bit, and then them boys started Pure Pain, and he was like, look, my contract was about to be up. He was like, look, man, I want you to come over here, run this thing. At the time, Preston was there, Taka.
Preston was the owner too?
I don't know how that business thing worked.
Okay.
So I wasn't involved in that part. Okay. But I was like, I come over there. And initially, because they had a bigger board than what I was working with, but I mean, my learning curve, it wasn't no big deal. It didn't challenge me like that. But it was actually a great experience because at Pure Pain, we had everything. So we had everything that I saw in the big studios. So that opened my creativity to the next level. So it was crazy because my birthday, December 13th, and the opening of Pure Pain was 1998, December 13th. So it was like, I was like, to me, this is God talking to me. Yeah. Just for me to be involved with this. Yeah. So that's how all of that started. Just Taz, like, them boys started Pure Pain, and then he brought me in.
Now, from there, is Dushawn solo producer, or Uncut just came straight off the back? Or how did that work?
What I decided, once I got to Pure Pain, I was like, I'm going to go ahead and give, because I wasn't like no dope lyricist. It was just something I liked to do. You know, I just like the whole aspect of hip hop. I like everything with it. But I said, I'll put the lyric thing on the back burner because I know I'm a better producer. So it was me and G Cope at first. And then Fat Boy came along later, about a year after me, because me and G did the Crime Affiliates album.
Okay.
And I really didn't, it was actually me, G, Preston. I'm trying to think how many producers were on that, but it was at least about 3 or 4 of us produced that album. Okay. And then Fat Boy came along, and then all 3 of us did the Flaw's first album, which is the I Represent album. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So Crime Affiliates, to go back, what you think of that album? Like, far as being that y'all first body of work from the label, from a collective effort, all the artists that was on there. Shout out to the Twins. Shout out to Moet. Rest in peace, of course, to Camouflage. Rest in peace to LaVar, too. Rest in peace to See, I grew up with the twins. I grew up with LeVon Lamont, and they were rapping when we were in summer camp. Like we were 8 and 7, about 8 or 9. They wanted to rap. They always wanted to rap, man.
Right.
I used to stay at their house, and they were just always rapping. But then I didn't even know that rap had a gateway for you to just make it like that. I only seen people on TV, so I didn't even think that people that I knew could go that far.
Right.
I always just used to just listen to them. But when they went with Pure Pain, that was just a big thing. But what do you think about that Crime Affiliates album as a first album as a collective effort?
I had the weakest music on there, so.
What you want to tell me the song? I want to know the song.
I didn't redeem myself. I'm just saying that's my personal thing.
Perception.
I was like,
because I love the album.
Yeah, it's not that the album ain't dope. It's more me. Like I was like, man, bro, you could have did that way better. You could have.
Oh, you was a hard critic.
Yeah, just on the mixing. It wasn't necessarily the songs. It was how I mixed them. I didn't. But then again, that was 1999.
Yeah, because you always gonna look back and say you could have did, but we didn't have nothing to compare it to. It was so ahead of the time.
Right.
Man, they would ride around jamming, living in the streets, man, and all that. Yeah. Like it was crazy back then, man. All the parties, I remember like it was yesterday. I don't think nobody even knew to understand the mixing at that time. We just did our own music to kind of like affiliate our community with. You know what I mean? So it was a classic for me, just that whole era. Okay, going into the Camouflage situation, how did y'all decide to say, okay, I know everybody know Camouflage was talented. How did it go behind the scenes to say this is what we pushing first besides the Twins or Moet or anybody else? How did Camouflage go?
First, I want to give a big shout out to Third Coast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I actually did some stuff with them. I used to take my equipment and record their music over there with Baby J and all them dope producer. Like I rock with them boys, you know, and Moet, you know, and they eventually, some of them came to Pure Pain. Okay. But I just thought that they had a talent they had a talent that was amazing. I just don't think the vehicle here was enough to push them. I think if they would have been like in a Texas market or something, it would have.
Third Coast has, but you mean that everybody, right? Not
really.
We had a lot.
We had a vehicle behind us that they didn't necessarily have. And one thing I learned about the Texas market, like you really could become a millionaire in Texas. Don't ever leave.
Yeah,
you'll never leave. And it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. And they loved us there. We just didn't get out there how we should have. But I just wanted to give that shout out to them because they was one of the groups that I actually was working with.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to Third Coast. I rock with Third Coast hard. With Flodge, he stood out, but it wasn't that it was just gonna be all dumped into him because Lamont LeVar, their group name was Double Barrel, so we was already investing in them. Moet, we had her own solo thing. There was a group called the Lost Souls.
I remember
that we was gonna work with my cousin Lee Skinny.
Lost Souls was I thought they were with that. It was another group that came up after another label. They came up after.
They eventually went to the other label.
Okay, so they was with
Yeah, I forgot the name of the label, but it's with Inferno.
Inferno.
So they eventually went over.
Okay.
And you know, with just a thing of, you know, everybody they looked at their career and said, you know, we think this is better for us because we were at the time. Pure Pain was investing in Camouflage. I felt like all of the groups and artists really could have sailed if they were given the same opportunity and push. Clearly, Camouflage was the best solo artist out of anybody we had. You know, once we invested in him, or I'll say the label invested in him, it kind of got to a point to where other people were forgotten about in a sense. There was some other politics with Lost Soul that was crazy, and I ain't gonna get into that, but it was just some politics stuff. And that's just because nobody's here to speak on their own behalf, so I don't like to do that.
Right.
As far as Moet, I just really wish she would have gotten her solo album because we had did all the songs.
Oh, so it was a lot of songs from her that was jamming from.
Yeah, Moet killing everything that's out now. So imagine if she would have came.
Because everybody loved Moet, but they never heard anything else. It was just like what happened. That just was politics at that point.
Yeah, if we could have gotten that out. If we could have gotten, let me see, definitely Double Barrel. I just thought that together if we'd have had Flage on a couple of songs, I think, and more than a couple of songs, I think they could have had a pretty nice run.
Yeah.
They had a catchy name.
Yeah.
They did their thing, how they threw their verses back and forth. I thought that was pretty dope how they did that.
So was Crime Affiliates, was that supposed to be like the intro to how y'all was supposed to come out as Pure Pain, like Flage as a solo, Double Barrel, and Moet?
Yeah, so it would have been them three. Then we had another group called TNC, the Nubian Cartel. Matter of fact, the song I did, Put 'Em Up on the Crime Affiliates album.
Put 'Em Up, yeah.
He rapping on that one.
Oh, okay.
So he rapping on that song.
Okay. I'll Put 'Em Up.
Yeah, so I think it's him, Camouflage, and one of the twins. I might be both on. But anyway, then we had the family business, the two sisters. They were hard. So we had so much talent, but I think the label went about the wrong way, because with me, I would always say, hey, man, let's just press up 1,000 copies of everybody.
They want to try to were they trying to get a deal?
Yeah, but it's like you got to have a catalog to get a deal. You can't, obviously we got the deal with Flage, but we'll talk about that. But to get a bigger deal, you got to have a catalog with all your artists. So I was like, all we got to do is press up 1,000 copies from everybody, barcode them. We're going to easily sell 1,000 copies in the city of Savannah at $10 a copy. It costs $1,000 to press up 1,000 copies. You sell them copies for $10 a piece, you're going to make $10,000. You're going to recoup your money back. You get your artists out there, and you got your catalog.
Right, you got it. Yeah.
But
did they not understand that? Because it was so.
I wasn't being listened to when it came to that.
Okay, so you knew that at that time.
Yeah. That was to me, that was easy mathematics. I got an undergrad in math, so mathematics always work numbers.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
So you were going to them trying to have a conversation.
Yeah, I was like, man, look, that's what we need to do, and they're going to go in a different direction, and I couldn't, I couldn't fault it because it wasn't my money, so I could only, go with it.
I was going to ask another question, but being in that position, how was that, having a vision like that and not being able to, did you say, well, maybe they'll come about it later, or did that make you kind of start, because once you see that you understand something and the people you're working with don't understand it, do that discourage you, or you kind of just rock with it because just like family? I
was real discouraged, but I'm a lawyer.
Right.
So I still believed in them because, G. Cope, he was handling, and G understands the business aspect of music. I definitely give him props on that. I was more so coming from the economics of just traditional business. Like it just makes sense. If your investment is this low and you can return on your investment like that, what we doing?
Yeah, simple math.
Yeah, it's simple math. So that's what I was going off of. But everybody kind of went a more methodical route, and I'm loyal. If I'm rocking with you, I'm loyal. I ain't going nowhere. So I didn't get frustrated to a point like I was like, oh, I'm about to leave. No, I was like, well, we'll see how it worked with Flage, because we still had success with Flage. Like, we hit Billboard with Crime Affiliates, which a lot of people really don't know. We hit Billboard with everything we dropped.
That's what's up.
So we hit Billboard with Crime Affiliates, and we definitely hit Billboard with what I represent. Like,
and Billboard is based off of record spins or sales?
You got different ones. You had the Billboard Monitor, which was more record spins. Then you got your Billboard Chart, which would you got your, what is it? You got your, I think they had the hip hop.
Oh yeah, how they
200
rated it? Yeah,
top 200, all of that. Yeah. So, and you got a left and a right side of the actual chart. So when you hit that right side, that's still an accolade. But when you hit that left side, that's when you talking, we making some noise.
Yeah.
So we hit the left side with I Represent, definitely. I can't remember how it was what I Represent, but.
And that's what brought the deal on? That's when the deal came, or was it? I Represent was already signed?
I Represent was still our independent.
Oh,
we dropped that in 2000. So we was hitting Billboard with independent records. You know what I'm saying? And it's like from Savannah number 159 in the market.
No prior record label that could say that you got a game from you. You didn't get any information.
Right.
It's like we just did.
It was learning on the fly. So, that was a lot that we was doing, and we had the city behind us. That's why I say I wasn't discouraged. It wasn't like, I had a master plan, because we were still doing good. It was frustration more than anything, just because I saw that we could have been making money because I had already beforehand did it myself before I got the Pure Pain. I had already did the press up the CDs and sell it. And I was like, this is all you got to do.
Without that push that they were giving.
Yeah. So I'm like, I did this. I know we could do it right now, but it is what it is on that.
Well, I'm gonna ask you this about Camouflage, because that's like one of my favorite, of course, artists, just because of the city of Savannah and everything he's done besides what anybody else did at that time. So of course, he's one of my favorite artists. What was it like working with him on a level of making music and creativity and his attitude towards making music? Like what was that like? Was he a great artist in the studio as it came off, or was it hard to work with him?
No, never hard. Like, he always looked at me like big brother. So both of us, our birthdays right, but we both Sagittarius. So like they say, 2 fire signs will make more fire. So it was always combustible with me and him. Like we get in the studio and whip up. And I think it was just like that with everybody. It was the biggest thing. Like I tell people don't really know how smart he was. And I really learned how smart he was when I went to graduate school at SCAD, because we got the deal in 2001, and then I started going to grad school at SCAD in 2001 to get my master's in film. Because what happened, I was the A&R for the album that we did in Universal. So I produced like 7 songs. I can't remember, 6 or 7, but I was the A&R for the one with Universal, strictly for the streets. So I was overpicking whoever was shooting the music videos for the project. And I didn't have any experience in the video and all of that at that time. So they was like, Universal came to us, they say, yo, we got, y'all can get a low budget, music video first. And we was like, all right, I'm thinking they talking about 10, 20,000. I said, well, how much is a low budget?
About 50?
No, them folks say 225,000.
That was a low budget.
That was low budget back then.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at them. I say, bro, listen, man, I got to learn how to do this
so we can
keep this money.
So that's where is that where you doing video?
Right. That's from? Where everything came from.
Okay.
From that whole situation.
Just seeing that budget.
Universal.
Yeah.
And then I was like, damn, bro, I wish we could have kept this right now, but we can't. We got to, because I didn't know nothing about film.
Yeah.
So a couple of people sent me some treatments, and then one dude named Brian Barber, he the one who directed Idlewild, and
Brian Barber, legend.
He's
out of Atlanta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he actually came down to Savannah, and he rolled around with me, and he was like, look, man, this the vision I got for the video. And I was like, all right, cool.
What video was this?
This was Cut Friends.
It was Cut Friends. Okay.
So we rolled around Savannah for like a couple of hours, and he just, I was looking at the treatment and everything he was saying. And I was like, this could work, because this is post him getting out of jail on the murder charge. So what he was saying in the video, or what he wanted to visually interpret, I was like, yeah, this could kind of help with the image.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it was cleaned up. It wasn't nothing gangster about it. He cleaned up. His hair was pulled back, I remember. He had a chick with him riding in the video. Oh, yeah, that was a better.
Yeah, it was a different look, but it was crazy. So like even though I had the final say so, Universal wanted to go with Mark Classfield. Mark Classfield is responsible for, remember Juvenile Video Ha?
Yeah.
All right, so he directed that. You remember Nelly Video, Country Grammar?
Yeah.
So he did that.
So that's what made them, because he
would do their first videos, and he would actually kind of more connect them with the city. If you notice all them videos, it bring the city out.
Yeah.
So I was going to go up Mark Classfield, but he was like, well, I'm about to do another video. Y'all got to wait another month. We was like, nah. And then when Brian came down, I was like, well, this dude actually came down. He didn't have much. I think he had only did a Jagged Edge video at the time. So I was like, I'm always for the underdog. I was like, I'll rock out with you.
That's tough back then, though, because back then it seemed like you would want to go with the bigger, you know what I mean?
So I showed him some love. And I won't say dealings with him, because we haven't had dealings. I just kind of felt like it wasn't appreciated how we showed him love, but it's all love. It ain't no big deal.
But you just
everything all good.
It should have been reciprocation.
I mean, certain things happen. You're like, wow, that's crazy. But because like I tell people, I'm from Savannah. We from Savannah, so we just we a tight knit that kind of expect respect because we give it.
Definitely.
So it's just certain things that happen. It wasn't a big deal. It
And
wasn't a big deal.
That's not respected all everywhere though. That's not some places it's just strictly
They got
business.
a different way they move.
Different way they move.
And I have to respect that because, like I said, again, the label didn't want it. I totally said, let me get this brother, let me put some money in this man's pocket and give him another video up under his belt. Label was like, nah, we ain't. I fought with Jeff Panzer, that's the video ambassador of Universal. Okay. And I was like, yo, man, I'm rocking with Brian. I ain't going with nobody else. And then he went on ahead and they said, all right.
So you was in charge of negotiating all of that stuff back then?
Yeah, just because the A&R of the project, because there's some more backstory, the other things that happened prior to that. And Pure Pain trusted me, man. And they, that's why I say my loyalty to them, it wasn't never was bad loyalty because they were loyal to me. You know what I'm saying? So they trusted me when it came down to that big project. They was like, man, listen, you over this, say you the A&R, blah, blah, blah. And we always still worked as a team.
Yeah, it was
and
like
that was such a high point of our lives, not just getting a major deal. We actually had other artists coming because we had Bolo coming. So G was working with Bolo and Bolo on Flod's album. Like I was working on Rome. I did a whole album with Rome just at my house. Rome was my artist. Heartless Hustlers was Fat Boy's artist. So
everybody was able to bring in their own situation, vision they had to bring the make. Okay, so I thought Pure Pain was, which they are over everything, but y'all were able to say, hey, this is something I want to personally work on. Let's all get together. I want to personally work on this. Let's all work together. Yeah. Okay, I didn't.
And I still did songs. Like I got songs with Bolo.
Yeah.
Got songs with
everybody still worked together.
Still, but everybody had their little marquee artists because me and Rome just had a strong chemistry.
Could you give people exclusive Camouflage story? Because I think the disconnection is a lot there besides having Fly J around to just keep his name alive and the music that's around. Could you give him a story that you remember that's like just something that you remember that nobody probably would know except the people that was in the camp, like something that might have happened at a show or in the studio or something like that?
So I want to go ahead and talk about this is kind of big right here. When he went to jail. So he went to jail for the murder, and we all remember that, right? This was my first awakening to understanding how powerful the black man's mind is and how our mind is respected much more than our brawn. We went to the first court hearing, and the police at the time was, saying, yeah, I got all this proof. Fly's guilty, blah, blah, blah. And then our lawyer said, well, Dushawn, he's at the time I was at Savannah State, I was educated at Savannah State. So he educated at Savannah State. He has his bachelor's in math and he wants to speak on behalf of Flodge. So I was speaking on behalf and just letting the lawyer know all these different things. And letting the judge know. And DA tried to cut me off. And the judge was like, nah, this is an educated this white judge too. Never forget her name, I think Penny Freeman or something. But I just thought that was real dope for her to stop it and say, hey, this is an educated man. I want to hear what he got to say.
You got to respect.
And then when I did that, he still went back in and things was kind of.
Because that's his job to go against, to try to break what you say down, or he wouldn't be a prosecutor. He's a prosecutor, right?
Right. So I didn't understand it, but because what happened, some people came to me in the community and was like, well, it's this police that's crooked that's trying to coerce us to lie.
Okay.
So I went to the judge and told that, and when I wasn't getting much traction, I threatened the police chief in Savannah. And I was like, look, nobody don't really know about this but our camp.
Wow.
But I threatened the police chief. I said, if you don't let Jason Camouflage Johnson out of jail, I'm going to every news outlet because I hadn't built up a nice portfolio on the Savannah Police Department. I went and talked to the police officer there and let him know, hey, look, man, I'm going to do what I got to do. So I told the police chief, I said, man, if you don't do it, I'm going everywhere that I need to go. And within 2 days, they released Camouflage from jail.
On a murder charge?
Yeah, they released him.
Dang.
And
No
then,
bump, no bail. He just
no nothing. He walked free. And then Internal Affairs called me in, and it was like, yo, that was real serious, a serious offense with you threatening the police chief.
they want to make sure that is good, right? That
Right. So they was like, are you willing to hit the stand against I said, nah, that's y'all job. Like me and the sergeant of Internal Affairs argued for 3 hours. I'll never forget it. From 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And it was by then when Flores got out of jail, we had got the deal right. Like
they were already waiting.
Yeah, they was waiting. So we had got the deal like that. And the Internal Affairs followed me for like probably about a year behind that. I remember they was at the Cut Friends video with the what you call it, the orange vest on, just looking. I winked my head, buddy, bro. I see you, bro. Ain't no big deal.
He was just looking at you or everybody. They
were following me some, like just.
But you the right one to follow because you good. You know how to say you got control. You know
I ain't in the streets. I ain't doing that. I ain't selling no dope. I ain't doing none of that. So if you want to follow me, fine. If I'm gonna be the one that's gonna lead you off the path, cool.
That's perfect. Yeah.
But when that happened, man, Flores came to me. I never forget it. He said, man. He said, what you did for me, boy, ain't nobody never did nothing like that. He said, bruh, he said, you my big brother for life. And he said, I'm going to follow your lead. And he did it. He followed my lead. Every now and then, he's still his own man.
Right.
So he did certain things.
Yeah.
We had our issues, but he knew. I remember he said, man, you the only one came to jail to see me because I would go see him. And I said, man, listen, man. I said, don't fault nobody for that. A lot of people just didn't want to see you in here. So I say, don't fault them. I understand certain things. I was like, but trust me.
That's a lot of understanding back then, though.
We was out here fighting for you. I was like, I wasn't the only one. I say, but I put my life and my career on the line for you because I love you. And I say, you my little brother. And he was like, he said, yeah, you my big brother. And then that's the relationship me and him had for the lineage, the rest of the lineage, he was alive.
So we're going to fast forward to this and we're going to get off of this situation. The day that this happened, or around the time that this happened, when Camouflage passed away, I want to know your remembrance of that day and how you felt or how everything happened, or did you feel anything different being that you had a bond with him, y'all was close? Was it anything different about that day, or can you just go over that day and that feeling of that phone call that you got?
Yeah, played the phone call.
Oh,
so what happened? Because I was in my last quarter of my master's degree at SCAD. I was in the studio, and even Deuce said it on this Camouflage documentary. So I had made a beat for him and Deuce to get on. Deuce is one of the members of Heartless Hustler, and I was like, yo, y'all, I got to go to my directing class. As soon as I finish this class, I'll be back, and we're going to finish the beat. And they was like, boom, boom, it's all good. So I went to class. So when I'm coming back from class, coming to the studio, I see a Suburban or something pull off. I see everybody running. And when I park, then my little brother on the ground shot up.
So you walked into seeing him on the ground?
Yeah, man. And, I pull up and see everything. And then when I go in the studio, they tell me what happened. I remember it was another group, man. We had so many dope groups, 3 Strikes. And that was T. Waters, to this day, one of my favorite MCs. And then
become
Ron
next week.
Oh, yeah. T. Waters, to this day, I'm like, hey, bro, let me do some songs with you, bro.
I didn't know they was about to sign, or they were with Pure Pain.
Yeah, man.
I just thought he was on that song. That's one of my favorite songs, too.
Yeah, he was one, and that's one that I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know you did that beat, man. I listen to that right now to this day.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. And it's like, I had...
I should have known the guitar, though. Because the guitar, now that I know you the guitar, I didn't know none of that at that time.
That was one of the first songs I played the guitar on. But yeah, and they had a group that I used to do music for them. It was a hard group. But getting back to the story, so one of the members, Ron, one of the members of 3 Strikes, he was like, yeah, man, Flash, got shot, blah, blah, blah. And I ain't gonna get graphic with it. And I just went to the back of the studio, bro, and then I just started crying and was asking God, man, why it happened, that's like the first time I ever questioned God in my life. You know, and I try not to question God because I know everything in our path is you know, it's directed by God and it's his architecture. So we may not understand it, but you know, it is what it is. But that was my first time ever questioning God, man. I lost a lot of loved ones, bro, but that one was hard because
Yeah, for this whole city, like this everybody felt, probably not as how you felt, of course, because y'all were the chemistry that y'all had, but everybody feel that chemistry because when you making music, it gets the way it gets out. Everybody feel the chemistry that y'all had, believe it or not, and that's why everybody kind of got that love for Camouflage because they could feel it through the music,
right.
and they watch how everything unfold. But yeah, so how was Pure Pain after that situation? Like, was it a whole different environment? Did it?
Yeah, it you know, the leadership structure changed and it didn't work for me. And, you know, I was out within a year, probably even less than that. You know, it just the leadership structure changed. So I had always still wished the best for him, but I had also, you know, I had got a master's in film from SCAD. So I actually saw another plateau from my life, and I didn't want to keep playing in the back because I was like, all right, now I'm in a position where I'm powering myself up. I want somebody to invest in me. You know, I don't want to just keep on being just the one who's doing all of the behind the scene. I was like, I'm too powerful for that. And I think that, you know, the label, again, they had another direction because the leadership changed, and I respect that. And I wasn't in the plan.
Was it any friction at that time with you leaving, or was it like, go ahead, Barry?
I think they wanted, not the old leadership definitely didn't want me to go but the new leadership did, and it wasn't, I don't even think it was personal. I just think the new leadership had their own
vision for where they want to go.
And I have to respect that. So I don't really take a lot personal. You know, I kind of I bet on myself. I just know what God endowed me with. So I don't, you know, if this person don't want to deal with me tomorrow, it's cool. I'm good. You know,
you believe that it was supposed to be that way if it is that way.
Yeah. So it was, you know, even like now with Zoc is one of the founders. You know, that's still my dog. Like, I'm waiting on him so we got to do some movie stuff. You know what I'm saying? Television stuff. So that's my man. Like, it's all love with him. It's just the music thing ran its course.
Right.
I still rock with them. You know what I'm saying? All the way live. Yeah.
So we going to the next stage, and I noticed after that you got other artists started come out, and you were producing for them. I think another song I always like from Savannah, Hella Flow, was called "What It Is."
Yeah, I did that song.
Yeah, you did that song. I thought you did a video, and then I looked at it and I see somebody else did a video.
Yeah.
But that's when you started working with other artists. So what was it like for you after that transition? Did you just get into working with other artists and trying to find the direction you exactly want to go?
Man, first it was started with me getting back into the studio. So I got back in the booth and started rapping. I did a song with Lil Boosie first.
Okay.
Me and him.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that. I remember
we
that.
got a joint, and he big up Camouflage on the song. You know, cause Boosie used to come by the studio, and we be in there. And I remember the first time he came, me and Flaz working on the beat, and he came, him and Vic Dushawn came in, and they sat in the back. Because I think Vic Dushawn used to bring him here a lot.
Oh, that's what used to bring him back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he came in, we chopped it up, and it was all good. I was like, bro, you and Boosie got to definitely work together.
They never got a song together,
never.
did they?
Nope.
Yeah.
So I did that with him. I started just doing some songs with artists. I worked with Jason Weaver at the time. I did a song with him because he had a song with Chingy. I don't know if y'all remember that song.
Yeah.
So and then I reached out to him, got a song with him. So I was like building up my album. And then at the same time, I was like, I'm doing this, but I want to shoot a movie.
So you wanted to shoot a movie back then?
Yeah, I wanted to shoot a movie ever since 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I was like, I got to shoot a movie. And I started writing Gangsta, I think in 2006 or something like that. That's when I started writing it. But I was still working on the music. My brother's was married I'll make sure I get that right. Lord, I want no problems at the house.
It's still gonna be problem right. It's still gonna be problem right now. They gonna say,
no, y'all know I'm speaking in past terms. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause his wife that's my dog. That's my sister right there. But he was married to, you remember Nitty Beats?
yeah,
This is Nitty Beats. So he was married to her cousin. So I was going to Atlanta working with Nitty and all of that.
so all this stuff going on at this.
Yeah, so it stuff didn't stop for me. I was actually, it was all the way live when Flores passed. I could never, like, I remember people used to come. This one dude got hot with me, man. He was like, man, I want you to make me. I made him a track. And he was like, man, it don't sound like Flores, man. And he was mad, man. Like, he was like, he wanted to throw hands. And I was like, bro, you ain't Flores. Like, it ain't, I'm sorry, but the relationship I had with him, man, we built that relationship over years.
Yeah.
And I'm just making a track for you, fam.
They might not understand how that dynamic worked. They just looking at it like, yeah.
And I get it. That's why, you know, it ain't turning to nothing, but, you know, it was more of, I respect the fact that y'all like what me and Flores created, but
yeah,
I can only create with you what me and you can do.
Right.
I can't do what me and him did.
Right. Yeah. That's something that you probably don't know, though, because when you're thinking about it, you think, okay, you did it for him, you could do it for me, but they don't know about the chemistry and how that works. So how do we go from the writing gangster to, okay, now I'm about to do gangster and everything that come along with it as far as the budgeting, casting, shooting? How did you pull that together? Because it's a lot, even though to some people they might just think it's easy, but man, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's not easy. The first thing I want to say is, I'm about to say something that people will probably typically hear or think you will hear. So whenever I'm about to do a project, the first thing I do is I get on my knees and I say, God, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know you're going to make it happen. I step out on faith with every project that I do. So my advice to anybody out there, boy, to get on your knees and tell God that. Say, I know you're going to lead me and it's going to happen. But you got to do that.
Got to include God
so
in everything. Yeah.
Once you do that, then you move forward. So with Gangsta, the first one, I was teaching a SCAD. So because I was teaching a SCAD, there's this thing called professional development where they want you to continue working and doing things professionally. And if anybody know about SCAD, they got all the equipment in the world. So I had access to everything. So I was able to use $100,000 cameras, $100,000 editing bay, $100,000 sound design. So all I had to do at that point was put money into getting locations, some cash stuff, feed people this, that, and the third. And that's how it all worked out. It was literally, when you're doing independent films, the thing I love about the independent film is I got total control in terms of the creativity. The money can be a little bit shallow, but you can still do what you want. But the biggest thing is you just got to use all the resources that you got and then make them work for the storyline.
So was that a hard process, or was it, even though you had these resources, it still was your first movie? It's a lot going into it. It could be stressful. Was it, I know it wasn't smooth, but was it like hard and stressful? Man. Or was it like it was one of the, you know, sometimes you go into something and you think it'll be hard. You be like, man, I'm so happy I did this. It like, you know, when you pour into something, it kind of free you and make you feel good. Was it like that, or was it like a stress type of situation?
Man, I'm more stressed now doing Gangsta 2 than I was doing 1. I'm going to tell you why. But part 1, the city got behind me so much till they made it easy.
Okay.
You know, like Renata, you know, like a big shout out to her and Alan. I think they about to have another
baby.
So and yeah, you know, big shout out to Alan, man. That's a great dude.
Shout out Mon. Street is it.
Yeah, man. That's a great dude there, man. Like all of her, man, Warrenda.
Yeah.
Like these people, man, just got behind me and supported me.
Yeah.
They made it easy.
So now with part 2 is a lot.
Man,
are you continuing the characters? The characters going on?
I got some characters because even with everybody that I called out, so I want to bring them back because I'm doing 3 and 4.
Oh, okay. So you already got that down.
Yeah, I'm already writing 3 right now, and like I want to bring a lot of them back. For 2 I couldn't because of the way the storyline is, but for 3 and 4 I want to bring all of them back. But Man, just so many people. I don't even want to do all the name dropping. I can't remember all the name, but everybody got behind me and said, hey, we want to see this happen. And bro, it's goosebumps, man, when I talk about it. So yeah.
Wow. Because it's something you probably wanted to do and you probably thought you wasn't going to do it, couldn't do it. You probably knew you wanted to do it and you was going to do it. But that's a big old thing, a movie, man.
That's a big thing.
That's going to be here. That's like a body of work that's going to always be here the rest of your life, your kids' life. There's something that you did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, congratulations on that. Just looking at it from a long-term standpoint, not just like just one thing that sits alone. So, when you were at Pure Pain, did you understand anything about publishing when you first started making beats and how things supposed to go with publishing and points and money and all of that stuff? And how did, if you did, how did you learn it at that time?
Yeah, so that's my biggest gripe with with them boys. Yeah, that's my biggest gripe. Like I said, I love them, man, and I'm loyal.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't own any of my publishing. And I think I have an idea who owns it, and I'm literally you know, I'm going through some little legal channels right now. But I shouldn't have to do that.
Right.
I should, for all these 20 years that have passed, money has been made off of the Camouflage albums, this, that, and the third. And me being the producer, that's 50% of the writer share that automatically comes to me. So that's how publishing works. So that ain't got nothing to do with nothing but the way the law's already established. I deserve that 50%.
You're not extra. That's just
I want
what
what the law says.
Right.
That's it. So, you know, I don't believe in taking from my people. I don't do that. And I'm not acting like I'm perfect, boy, because Dushawn is not perfect, brother. I'm not perfect. No shape, form, or
You're just asking for what's yours.
It's like,
you know, that ain't wrong.
If the big machine wants to give the money and they're giving the money, that's different than, let's say, the small person. And what I mean by that is trying to say it in terms of, don't cross me when the money ain't coming out your pocket. I'll better understand it if you down bad and you gotta cross me just to make your ends meet. That's kind of basic survival. Not saying I get it,
but you could.
But I can understand it a little better, and we can even work that out. But when the big machine, the corporation,
kicking it,
drop some bread and they doing this, and then you trying to get over, not trying, you getting over on me.
Yeah.
Now I gotta look at you as, boy, you a monster. You ain't never had my best interest at heart.
Yeah.
And some of that happened, but again, it didn't happen. It didn't happen with I'm a totally exonerate Zoc, because that's my dog. Zoc always looked out for me. Pat always looked out for me, man. Them boys always looked out, showed me major love. Taz definitely. Taz ain't gonna let nothing happen to me. It's just other situations or other people did things and I just didn't understand. I'm like, damn, man, you're stealing money.
That's unlawful. That's against the law, right?
Right.
Yeah, because it's the law. You supposed to get your percentage. That's not something somebody giving you. That's just law.
Yeah.
Yeah. So an artist right now watching this, or a producer watching this, a producer making music right now watching this, a young guy that's just making beats, and he's out here making beats, and he's just trying to get on, and he's taking any way to get on. What would you tell him right now as far as ownership and understanding what he needs to understand at this point in music, whether it's for royalties on TV, online, or anything? What would you say, knowing what you know now, to tell him?
I know the first thing they want to do is set up a publishing company with ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC, one of those three entities. You want to set up a publishing company. A lot of times, young producers and artists just set up an account, but you got to pay an extra, I think it's like $150 or so to set up a publishing company. So once you got your pub company, that's how you set your business up to be able to be paid. And then you got other things you got to do when you, you know, as far as the whole split sheet thing, with songs. You know, you got your ISRC codes that you got to put on the songs. Your with the Nielsen BDS, you got to fingerprint your songs so that it's getting a detection and you're getting your money that way. It's just little small stuff. People be so excited about putting a song out, but handle the business part, because you could put a song out, you didn't do the ISRC codes, you didn't do any of that, and somebody steal the song and then say it gets a placement in a movie.
But the crazy thing about it, we so excited about getting our music out there because your talent, see, when you coming up, just like a basketball player, you don't think about your contract like that. You just so happy to play. You really come up from a natural talent to like, I'm just happy that people are loving what I do. You don't really think about the even if somebody could tell you that, you still like, man, no, it'll be all right. They ain't gonna do like, but until you really realize and time passes and then you start to understand that. But I understand it. I understand it from both sides because people just be ready to kind of move and get that out there.
I mean, I did it. I didn't know nothing about, I registered with ASCAP in 2000, but didn't know that I had to have a publishing company as well. So because I didn't do that, you know, I crossed myself out a lot of.
So you missed out on a lot of money besides what you even owe now.
Yeah.
It's Gangsta 2. Will it be a music with it, soundtrack with it? Where people,
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm working with a producer here, Cartier Fly. Well, he's from Savannah.
Okay, yeah, LA.
You know Cartier Fly?
LA, yeah. He sold me my first camera. He was doing video before.
No, you might be talking about another Cartier.
He from Savannah.
He from Savannah.
LA.
Oh yeah. But he moved back. He's in Atlanta now.
Oh, he in Atlanta. Yeah.
Cartier.
Yeah, I know him personally. I know him
Okay,
personally. He gave my first camera for real, but this was. He was getting into track. He moved so fast. That's how fast he moved.
Yeah, he moved around.
Yeah, this before he even did a track with anybody. He was here transitioning to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then he was making beats, cause I know his family. He was making beats and he went on, he signed with Ethica.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's my guy. He's a good dude.
Great dude.
Well.
Yeah, that's my man. So you know, I was like, I asked him, did he want to be the music supervisor over the soundtrack? And he said, yeah. And
that's what's up, man.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a good.
And his production up there, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he way better producer than me. You know what I'm saying? That's saying a lot. You know, because I don't do the rap no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can make one, maybe, but I don't do rap. You know, I'm more into soul music and funk and all that, man, you know, in terms of
now
music.
That you say that, man, what could we expect? I didn't even know you were working with him. You kept that under the wraps. You didn't say nothing. That was good to not say anything.
I'm glad you asked the question, man. But, man, the movie is about 85% done. So I just got like a couple of action sequences I got to do because what we said, we were going to go through and design the soundtrack for once the movie's all the way done. So I've let him see scenes here and there because, you know, we work together like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we work out the same studio in Atlanta. And what we're going to do is we're going to come back to Savannah and get a lot of Savannah artists on the soundtrack. That's the whole goal.
Man.
Yeah, so we're going to do a big thing, get the Savannah artists on it with his production and Savannah artists, bruh. And like I said, all this information I'm giving you now is exclusive, fam.
Yeah. I know. I ain't never heard it, so I
exclusive,
appreciate
man.
you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. We ain't tell nobody about this here, you feel me?
But it's gonna push it. It's still gonna help, and then now they know. Hopefully by the time this come out, it'll be cause y'all what October, November time.
I'm gonna drop it in November.
Where music should be coming out
music
before.
We'll have some music before, cause it's not gonna really. Like, he already been letting me hear songs. His library of songs, he got about 3,000 songs. I'm like, damn. But the soundtrack, I wanted to have about 17 songs, 15 to 17.
Okay.
And showcase Savannah artists. You know, I ride for Savannah artists because I know how dope the city is. I love this city. And the talent just don't get the exposure. I be hearing artists from other places. I'm like, damn. But that's one thing we got to continue to do here in Savannah is push everybody. Like, this city supports me, you know, with pretty much without no request. So I love Savannah for that. So and that's because I've been doing my thing.
Well, you earned the respect. But a lot of artists don't see everything that they don't have a earned type of thing. Some
mentality.
Songs, mentality. Their mentality more so like, oh man, ain't nobody supporting me. But you don't ask. That's how we came up in that time. It wasn't an ask for nothing. You went out.
You had to go get it.
Just like you just said, you pressed up before you had anybody behind you. You pressed up on your own, did your own thing. And that was a lot harder back then than it is now. But they got all kind of outlets now. You could put your music on SoundCloud and just send it to 10,000 people like that.
Like that.
Yeah. So if you got to go out and earn what you say that it is that you want for somebody to respect you. I believe.
Yeah.
You know, and there's some talent that's just they just got it. Maybe you hear it and it's like you got that sound or whatever.
Right.
We're gonna get behind you. But a lot of things to me is just like it's earned, man.
No, that's real talk, man. That's real talk. I mean, really, when I think about what you're saying, I got to kind of backtrack a little bit because you can't get behind everything. You can support it, but what is this artist putting into themselves?
Yeah.
Because I devoted my whole life to my career.
It sounded like everybody that was along with that movement said the same thing. We devoting our lives to this one thing, and it was impactful compared to somebody people be so entitled, man.
Yeah.
And they feel like everybody's supposed to just push them and believe in them for just off the scrum.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's just the difference in how things were back then compared to now. So
yeah.
Well, yeah, man. I appreciate the time. Is there anything we didn't touch on? I got all my questions out. I just want to make sure you get everything out.
One thing I want to talk about real quick. This just with Gangsta 1. And people don't know. I was like one of the first people to be on Amazon Prime. That was in 2010. Because that was before streaming even became popular.
Yeah, so you could have watched it on Amazon Prime at that time?
Yeah, in 2010.
Okay. I thought you had to buy the digital copy because everybody wanted their copy anyway from Savannah.
Right.
People probably wanted it everywhere, but everybody wanted their own copy at that time.
Yeah, so I was selling copies. It may not have been called Amazon Prime, so I want to make sure I get the name, but it was on Amazon.
Yeah.
I think it was called, they had another name for it, Clear Space or something, but you could watch it on demand online, or you could buy the copies. And my come up from Gangsta 1 was so good because the DVDs at the time, to get a full color DVD, how much you think one of them cost me? The whole DVD. To get it pressed up, it cost 99 cents. The full color and the thing.
Inside the case shrink wrap?
Yes, sir.
99 cents.
99
what
cents.
What was the minimum? You had to get 1,000?
I got 1,000, so I buy 1,000.
That still works.
Sell them $10 a piece. I make $10,000 off of one box. 900% profit. It was a beautiful thing back then, man. So
when you got into movies and wanted to make movies, did you think anything financial from it, or is it just the passion I want to do it?
No, I didn't think business as much as I should. I didn't think until the movie was done. And I was like, man, if I would have did a movie at least 3 years earlier and had some good quality, when DVDs was booming, I would have killed the game.
It was a better game because you had a product you could touch. Now it's like they took it to the streaming. What's the difference now in that streaming process? And does that affect how movies is made? That's what
I actually like it probably a little better now, and I'm gonna say this because we all the CBSs, NBCs, ABCs that didn't want to give the independents the chance. I mean, hey, they got to play fair now because you can go on Tubi. See, people make fun of Tubi. I'm like, well, y'all don't. But I get it. They don't get it. I know because
they don't know. Right.
I've been teaching film for 20 years. I've been doing this forever. So you got an outlet like Tubi that you can get your movie on for free. You just got to produce it. And then you get ad money as long as you do your own marketing. So you're getting ad money and you're getting exposure. Just make sure that you put your production company name at the beginning and end or whatever, and you do your branding. And now you're gonna be a self-sufficient entity making hundreds of thousands of dollars like they doing, bless you, like they doing in Detroit, bro. Like
so Tubi would be better than YouTube as far as
for me, yeah. Wow. This will be better for me because I'll be able to reach a much broader audience. At least a couple of million people are gonna watch it, and I'll actually get that ad revenue. And because I'm doing Gangsta 3 and 4, I'm gonna let them know that at the end of the movie, like, be ready for 3 and 4, because I got a bunch of cliffhangers in part 2. It's intentional, because my goal is to shoot at least 4 different TV series from this movie.
Oh,
so,
wow, man.
Yeah, it's branching off, and I'm using a lot of Savannah talent because 50 Cent said something to me that was remarkable. He said he said, don't do a movie, do the TV show.
I saw that.
Yeah, because a TV show, you don't have to necessarily have a talent, but you just need to have people you don't have to have the A1 like
The name,
lister,
yeah.
but you can have individuals that are talented enough to pull the characters off,
Yeah.
and they'll sustain the series.
Yeah, you're building characters.
So that's the whole goal. Like the gangster stories I'm about to create now from the movie is just from the characters. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking characters and I'm just making stories and mini series and full series from it.
So when you release it, is it going to be? Do you have a viewing plan for?
Yeah, we're gonna do it. It's gonna be done big in November, man.
I want to make sure this because I wanted the city to come out and be together.
Yes, sir, bro.
You know
we're gonna have a ball. We're gonna
So
set it out. It's gonna be the initial screening, man. We're gonna have food, drinks, everything.
Say less, man. You already know I'm.
Yeah, we're doing that,
man.
We're doing that for sure. So that's I did it for the first one, but it just wasn't as big just because. Matter of fact, I think I did it at Frozen, and we did it, but it just at that time we ain't had social media. Now it's gonna be huge. So yeah, I rock with you, bro. This is literally my first interview.
Wow. Well, there's no platforms anyway. That's the reason I'm doing it because it's too much. We got too much information. I already been following. You know that I've been talking, filming around. You'll let me film in the studio.
Yeah, we done work together.
Work together plenty of times. Yeah. So, but I got one more question because I don't want to leave Flau'jae out because I think Flau'jae is an important part of camouflage, and you saw his talent and you saw how he think and how impactful he was. How is it watching Flau'jae? Just watching her, knowing him. It's like, is it to you like you could kind of see?
Yeah, what's
scary? That's what I say.
Yeah, it scared me because I almost be like, he done went and killed Belly and reincarnated and came out. That's what I be saying.
I said not what you said literally, but he's involved in that.
Yeah, he is, man. Because I just see. So I see the mannerisms that she do, like he had those mannerisms and all, and it's incredible to see it. And like I said, we all had a different relationship. Mine was just more like big brother. So, it was like I would actually just be watching how he did things, not to critique him, but he is an entertainer. He entertains. So it's just watching her. She has the same mannerism. That's why I say, dang, did he just go back in the belly and reincarnate and say, all right, I'm about to live through my daughter.
That question because I had that on my mind for a minute, and I can only ask somebody that really got to know camouflage on a creative level, not on the street level or how he perceives himself on the street or nothing like that, but just on that creative level and trying to be something different. So
yeah, because I actually wrote a movie for her. I just finished the first draft last month, and but I want to meet with Kia and Amin first. I want to meet with her parents and then discuss it and have them come on, and we all produce that together. So it's a dope. It's a dope. It's a dope. I can't go into it.
No, I ain't gonna ask no questions. I ain't ask no more questions. Yeah. We'll sit down again, hopefully.
Because I see her going into
acting. My homeboy said
definitely.
My homeboy said that every
character.
He said that every other week. He said, "Man, I see acting for Flau'jae next."
Yeah.
He don't see the music. I like the music. I think it's because he's such a talent. It's hard for people to see double talents when you play sports. They don't get to see the rapping or if you could rap. You know what I mean? It's like we always got to be one way to people.
Well, I think the reason why people don't see the music, I see it all because she's just gifted beyond beyond reason.
Yeah.
It's because she hasn't conformed to the quote unquote the commercial woman artist, which I'm glad she didn't. Like she ain't giving you all that phony, all that destructive lyric and rhetoric.
Oh yeah, she's not.
She's giving you subject matter and content. So because that's the type of artist, her path is going to be a little longer, but her longevity going to be long because she's going to have a fan base, a sustainable fan base that'll stay loyal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
she ain't just spitting out that
fool. I'm a loyal fan. So the type of music she's doing is the type of music I like, right? You know, I rock with Glorilla. I Glorilla hard. You know, I ain't gonna lie, I rock with Glorilla. I think Glorilla's being true to herself. Flau'jae's being true to herself. I couldn't imagine Flau'jae getting on a record talking about, I'm selling this or that. Cause that ain't her. Yeah. So now we see Flau'jae as that model. She's model leadership. Some of these other women artists not necessarily leaders with their music or even in their personal lives. Their music shows that a high level of conformity. Their followers. That's your thing, do it. You know what I'm saying? But Flangé, her music shows strong leadership. And she shows it on the court, showing it with the music, she shows it with the community.
Yeah.
So you're only seeing, you're seeing a high character person. If her music didn't reflect that, we would have disdain for her. And I'm glad her music reflects it. Whereas her dad's music reflected what he saw. I mean, I'm off ball.
Was a leader in his own.
But it still was a leader.
Right.
Yeah.
It was leadership.
It was all reflection. And you know, we all, like I said, we all from the same area because me and your brother grew up. Me and Mel, you know, kind of grew up together. So that's just, we all in the same, you know, I'm off Waters, but we all just from the hoods. You know, we still all bubbled with each other.
Right.
So Flaj's music was a reflection of what he was seeing, even though it wasn't necessarily what I was seeing.
Right.
You know, so that's what you got to do with any of your art. You know, people come to me, man, you doing gangsta? Because I'm actually doing a love story too. So my love story is almost done. I was shooting Gangsta and the love story.
So the movie's going to be constantly.
Oh, yeah. That's, you know, I had some rough patches in my life like anybody else, man. I think even when me and you was doing some of the stuff.
In Atlanta?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you were through some real rough times then.
Didn't even, I couldn't even see it.
And I'm talking about rough, you know.
Yeah.
Hell, I done fell on homelessness, all type of stuff.
Oh, wow.
Where, you know, I had to just rebound and bounce back.
Did it come from relationships and emotions? Because like I said, I was married myself too, and those were my darkest times of going through a divorce. It took a lot out of me, and I wasn't creative, didn't know which direction to go to. And it's crazy though, but people don't know what you go through and what you have to deal with to get where you at.
Yeah, you know, but I take full accountability for any failed relationship that I had. I take accountability. And that's what I think anybody has to do in order to become better. Because I want to be better for any other woman that comes in my life, any other homeboys, friends that come into my life with anything.
Be the best version you can.
I want to be the best version of myself, and I can't be that without self-accountability.
That's
so
right.
I made a lot of bad decisions from like 2009 to 2018. I made bad decisions. And a lot of my decisions were based on stepping out of my nature. I always calculate. I'm a real calculating person. And I wasn't calculating. I was kind of just blah, 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 just moving and going with the flow. So I am rebound from everything. You know, everything all good, man. I got my own production company. I can shoot a movie and TV shows whenever I want. I'm all the way live. I'm good. But it just took some bad decision making, learning from those, some real rough times. And just get myself together, brother. And that's why, you know, I want to share that with anybody. Like, man, don't give up on yourself, because not once did I say, I'm not going to bounce back. I had one time, I remember I was sitting, I remember I ain't had no place to live. I said, God, this house going to be?
Wow.
I had to ask God that. And then God was like, no. And boom, everything just shifted in that one conversation. Because I was trying everything I could do. I remember I filled out 103 job applications and not one person, only one job called me back.
This when you were teaching?
This was in around 2018.
Yeah.
Never forget that. And that one job that called me back changed a lot for me.
Man.
A lot of things changed because I worked at Tyler Perry too. So
okay, I didn't know that.
Big shot to Tyler Perry. I worked at Tyler Perry. I started working there like the end of 2016. And working at Tyler Perry was a great situation for me. I could never have anything negative to say because I worked there and I was actually teaching at Clark Atlanta at the same time. So I'm at Tyler Perry Studios. I'm at Clark Atlanta. I'm feeling like one of the most unique men on earth because I got an opportunity to teach students filmmaking. Then I'm going at night working on Medea Boo or working on Nobody's Fool. You know, I'm working on Have and Have Nots. I'm actually working on these movies and TV shows, and I was making good money. Then I was making bad decisions because, you know, money would come in and then it'll stop coming in, and I was kind of gambling on certain business decisions that I made mistakes on. So I
Okay.
think we all do that in life.
Yeah, make it.
So-
I definitely did. Do you think it come from a place of our past that we haven't dealt with, or is it just something that we're going to deal with? It's just part of what we got to deal with to get to the next level. Or do you think it's because right now we're in a mental health crisis where a lot of people think the decisions we making come from our mental health? Do you think it's that, or do you think it's just something that you want to go through just because you got to go through it?
Man, I'm glad you brought that up about mental health. Because I study mental health from a more physiological perspective. I look at like how a lot of people are making decisions that seem to be unhinged and not based on logic. And a lot of that has to do with frontal lobe development. So I say that to say, because I'm a seed planter, so I believe like I'll do something in 2023, but I don't expect the fruition of it until 2025. I understand that. I don't expect it to come today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
The music that I was raised on, I was reared on 70s music. You know, I'm a 70s baby, reared on 70s music, 80s music, which wasn't, I guess, as visceral or as damaging as rap music is now. These young kids now, they come out the womb and they're hearing, yeah, I'm going to knock his head off. I'm going to bust shorty up. I'm going to run away.
It becomes normal. It becomes a norm.
That's what they think the norm is. Their frontal lobe is processing logic differently than our frontal lobe did. Our frontal lobe processes logic as we treat our fellow mankind.
Keep our neighborhood.
Right. This is wrong. Yeah. They don't have a barometer for right and wrong, and I blame it on the music, and it's a sad thing. So we're seeing people that I saw some dude, he committed a murder and got mad when the judge sentenced him and he said, y'all just want to see me locked up. And I'm saying to myself, but you killed somebody. That's how the law works.
But in his mind, he's thinking, I'm just doing what everybody's doing in the community around me, so it's normal to me. He don't know the penalty for it, so his mind don't really rationalize. He probably coming from a real place that we looking at it from the outside, right? So we looking at it saying, okay, he don't know that it's a penalty for the crime, but in his mind, everybody doing this around me to the point where it's normal. So what am I doing wrong that nobody else is doing?
Right, because that's perfect what you said. Like, I know I'm shooting a movie called Gangsta Gangsta. I get that. But if people ask me, and I've had this conversation with my peers, I don't believe in a gangster. I don't believe in a thug. I believe in a person who's mentally ill, because if you wake up and say, all right, I'm about to go terrorize my community, but I'm about to terrorize all these elderly people that have cared for me in some form or fashion throughout my years growing up in this neighborhood. I'm about to terrorize my peers. I'm about to do this and that and the third. I want everybody to be scared of me. That's not gangster. That's not thug. That's mental illness.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, something wrong. And see, in the black community, we always reward mental illness with some type of name. Oh, that's a YN. That's a thug. That's a gangster. And we got to get away. We got to call it what it is. That's a mentally ill person that need help.
Now, let me ask you this question. The labels are placing big money behind a lot of people that are mentally ill.
Right.
So that makes them look like a marquee. So it's like, we talking about it and we understand that because we're a lot older as well, but younger people don't look at that. If you see an artist that kills people and they on the billboard, it's kind of like, dang, man, why would I go say anything positive if nobody on the billboard is positive? All the billboard artists look like they kill people for a living. So it's like, I want to kill people too if that's what's going to make us look big. So it's like, do you think that plays a part, like the propaganda machine from the big artists? The big label.
Yeah.
Do you think they want us to push that, or do you think they what part do they play into that? And what should we do about it as a community? What you think?
Yeah. So we had back in the day, we had to do a clean version and a dirty version, right?
Yeah.
So we're doing when we're doing the mixing of the albums and everything, I go into one of the offices at Universal Music Group. I'm not going to call a name. I actually can't really remember the name, but I asked the person that said, so how should we clean this album up? And they said, well, Make sure he doesn't say anything about gays. You got to bleep that out. Make sure he doesn't say anything about the Jewish community.
Wow.
And,
So that's for real.
Yeah, and it was something else. And then I said, so, because I'm a little smart aleck when it comes to my community. So I said, so y'all want us to get rid of the N-word then?
Yeah.
They said, nah, you can keep that, you can keep that. I was like, wow. And I just said it just to see what the executive was going to say. And that's when I really got a perspective. This is 2001. That's when I got a perspective that
2001?
Yeah, that's when we signed that deal. I was like, man, these folk gonna really let the black community self-destroy themselves. Because if we just said, all right, we're gonna eradicate all negative lingo, language, this, that, and the third,
They wouldn't even want the
they may not want it, but if we support it still, they're gonna still have to come. They're gonna have to do it because
But they changed it. We don't support. They changed what we support because now they make it.
Right.
Yeah, we don't support that. Like nobody wanna hear that. I got a mental health interview I did, and it's still good, and people still probably gonna watch it. But it got the least views because nobody wants to talk about working on themselves or positivity. Clickbait nowadays, they want to see who got their head blown off or who fucked this person or who talking about this person. And it's just crazy, man, because we trying to push the positive that could change us, but nobody don't want to hear it.
Yeah, nobody don't want to hear that. And another thing, there are rappers out there, and the reason why I don't really believe in doing like rap no more, just because of where I am in my career, it's not that I'm looking down on the rap community, but again, I don't think, Savannah just the realest community, this, that, and the third, but there's still a level, I think, of what's the word I'm looking for? There's a level of integrity that we have. Yeah. So when I see some of these rappers talk about tell you to dog your girl, dog your woman, treat her like a hoe, this, that, and the third, but then they come on another interview and say how great their wife is to them and how they've been married for such and such amount of years. Why can't you rap to my young brothers and tell them to treat their woman with respect because you treat yours with respect? Don't tell me to dog and drag my girl and you ain't dragging yours. Right. So they phony. So I can't. That's a reflection of who you are when you hear music. So it's a lot of rappers, bro, like other people look up to. I've been around a lot of, man, I look at them, man, I'm like, man, I can't be around nobody who's phony.
Yeah, because they selling this to people and they not really even like that.
They're not really like that, bro. I'm like, come on, man. Like, if even with Gangsta, once you watch all four, you're going to see what I was trying to do. And you're going to see what I'm trying to do with it.
So getting past the name of Gangsta, because what I don't want nobody to do is say, okay, we talking positivity, but he got a movie called Gangsta.
Right.
Understand imagery and naming doesn't always necessarily mean what the portrayal of what you're trying to portray.
Exactly.
So I want them to know that too.
Exactly, because you got to think about this. I've been working on this product. This has been my product since around 2006. But the person behind the product, I hold 4 degrees. I hold a doctorate. I'm a college professor. I'm a veteran of the armed forces. So there is no flaw in my character in that regard. So if that's the case, then there has to be something else underlying that I'm trying to do with this product, and it is. It ain't just I'm glorifying violence, no. But is it real? Yeah, I don't believe in sugarcoating it because I just feel like white filmmakers have taken our stories for so many years and misconstrued them. And it's like, I was there. I was in the heart of watching my hood do this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Ricky Jivens is older than me, but I was still around that time and I saw the impact that had in Savannah. It's just a whole bunch of things. With Flodge, I saw the impact. I feel like Flodge's death single-handedly collapsed the entertainment community in Savannah.
Man, he was gonna bring so much money.
And it collapsed.
Yeah,
and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Again, that's whatever God's plan. I can't say anything about that, but I just go on to say, and leave everybody with this, that be real to whoever you are. I'm never bragging on who I am, man. I'm a humble dude. I just believe in being real to myself with everything, but don't let we all human beings, man. Don't let nobody judge you or believe they have that type of dominion to judge what you do, because you know what you called by God to do. So you do that and you stay firm to that, man, and everything gonna work out for you.
Where could they find Gangsta 1 at this? Where is it now for people that want?
So partner of mine has it on his streaming platform. What I can do, if anybody comes to my Facebook, I'll just put it. I'll put the link.
Yeah,
I think somebody else bootlegging it on their YouTube, and I'm gonna get that pulled down. I think I know who it is, so it will get that eradicated.
All right.
But part 2, I'm definitely putting it on Tubi. But like I said, we're gonna do a screening in Savannah. We're gonna do a party with that, because that's opening up a whole nother door for this city. So we're gonna do that big.
Are you gonna put one on Tubi too at that time?
So I'll configure those, and then it's gonna go back to my partner streaming platform, because
so you want to make sure
because I rock with him and he's doing a lot of things, but I'm gonna put that on my Facebook, so you all will be able to see it.